Okay, the bearing of a lighthouse from a Coast Guard station is 113 degrees. Work out the bearing of the Coast Guard station from the lighthouse. Okay, so this is a good example of a word problem in bearing. Okay, so when such a question, that is a word problem, comes in bearing, I encourage people to make a sketch. So we can make a sketch that is going to help us solve this question. The sketch that is going to help us find the bearing of a Coast Guard from the lighthouse. So in the sketch, I'm going to symbolize lighthouse with L and Coast Guard with C. So I encourage people to make a sketch like this. Then we have two stations, lighthouse and Coast Guard. So you can put lighthouse L here and Coast Guard station here. Okay, now we go back to the question that says the bearing of a lighthouse from a Coast Guard station is 113. So bearing of lighthouse whilst you are standing at Coast Guard station is 113. So where you are standing here, it means, because they are saying lighthouse from Coast Guard, it means you are standing at Coast Guard. And so to sketch this bearing of 113, you are supposed to draw a north at C where you are standing. So please, if you haven't watched the previous videos on bearing, I encourage you to go back and watch them because everything we are doing right now is built from what we have looked at before. So we are drawing a north here at C, and this is a north, okay? And so the bearing, we said bearing is measured from the north until we meet the line that connects CL. Okay, so we are moving clockwise from the north until we meet this line here. Okay, so this now is 113 degrees. So this is it. We have sketched the bearing of lighthouse from the Coast Guard. Okay, now they want you to work out the bearing of the Coast Guard station from the lighthouse. So they want you to work out the bearing of Coast Guard while standing at the lighthouse. Okay, so meaning where you are standing at L at lighthouse, you draw a north where you are standing. So this is the north. You can see that this north and this north are parallel lines, and in between parallel lines there is this line here that is connecting these two parallel lines, and so this line is a transversal. So we are going to use the properties of alternate angles. So this angle here is equal to this angle here. So this angle is also 113 degrees. Why? Because alternate angles are equal. So now, to find the bearing of Coast Guard while standing at L, which is lighthouse, we are going to measure the bearing from the north clockwise until we meet the line that connects CL. So we are moving clockwise from the north until we meet this line here that connects C and L, or Coast Guard and the lighthouse. So meaning the bearing they are looking for is this one. This is the bearing they are looking for. Now, how are we going to find the bearing, this bearing? Okay, you can see, let me just label with letters here. You can see that if you say A and B, then let's say this is D. From A to the angle from A to B is 180. Is 180 degrees because this is a straight line. Angles on a straight line add up to 180. So from A to B is 180 degrees. Then from B to D, we have 113, sorry. We have 113 degrees. So for us to find the bearing here, the total bearing here, we are going to add the 180 degrees from here up to here, plus 113. Okay, so we are going to say the bearing of Coast Guard from Lighthouse. Coast Guard from Lighthouse is 180 degrees plus 113 degrees, which gives 3 here, 9. Okay, so it gives 293 degrees. So that's a bearing of Coast Guard from Lighthouse. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing to this channel. And also, if you haven't watched the previous videos on bearing, I encourage you to just click the video that is showing on the screen right now, so that you watch the other videos on bearing for more understanding. See you in the next video. Goodbye.